Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. I salute the abode of compassion, Shankaracharya, who is the repository of all the Shrutis, Smritis and the Puranas, and who is the benefactor of the world. Atmabodha. We've taken this up after a summer recess, and we commence on verse 43. Atmabodha is self-knowledge. We have seen the preceding verses just to kind of link us with what has preceded us. It's an affirmation of what is true, and then Shankaracharya then begins with this idea has to be meditated upon. So these verses are highlighting something like deepening the thought that was there, using discernment, using the scriptures, using reason also, but guided by proper logic. And here he then says, as the sun appears after the destruction of darkness by dawn, so the Atman appears after the destruction of ignorance by knowledge. In the preceding verse he had just mentioned, by constant meditation, comparable to the rubbing of the firewood, we have discussed it. In the old days, fire was generated, especially in Vedic rituals, by the friction of two pieces of wood. And this fire, which is kindled, comparable to the flame of knowledge, then burns up the fuel of ignorance. And he is giving now another illustration. As the sun appears after the destruction of darkness by dawn, so appears after the destruction of ignorance by knowledge. So Atman appears. So the illustration is there, but it follows a thread of meditation. People have a kind of a strange idea that knowledge of reality can be had without meditation. It can be had in the cases of very few elite aspirants who are completely pure, and in them the flashes of knowledge which the Guru imparts to them, the knowledge of the Atman. But in the majority of the cases, I would rather say 99.99% of the people need to meditate. And the Upanishads do speak about one must hear Shravana, think deeply, Manana, can be also translated as meditation, and Nididhyasana, and then profound meditation. On what? On the concept of reality that is presented by the scriptures on Vedanta. And what do the Vedanta scriptures delineate? That there is a self-effulgent Atman. And this is the reason why the illustration uses the self-effulgence of the sun. As the sun appears after the destruction of darkness by dawn, so Atman appears after the destruction of ignorance by knowledge. So knowledge, Sri Ramakrishna says, when you hear something, you have one type of knowledge. Seeing, pratyaksha, it generated a different type of knowledge. Not a different in the sense of species or genus, but a little deeper. And then when you meditate on that same thing, you get a even deeper knowledge. So Sri Ramakrishna was quite emphatic about the practice. And this is the reason why, saying, though the sun is self-existent and ever luminous, it, as it were, is covered by what is called Maya, or non-knowledge. So how can a sun be covered by something which is so flimsy? And compared to the reality, that obstructing medium is limited, it's finite, it's small. The same way, when a small patch of cloud obstructs a huge sun, the sun is a little far away and the patch of cloud is closer to us. So that small dimension can, and we have seen it, especially in Seattle, we know this very well. A small patch of cloud comes and it obscures the sun. So similarly, what is this ignorance? Well, it has many explanations. In fact, Swami Vivekananda says it is one of the pillars on which rests the Vedanta philosophy. And he says it takes months to explain and years to understand. However, Sri Ramakrishna is giving us a very succinct explanation. This I and mine is Maya. Well, there it is. So this I and mine, and then you know what happened? It's this I and mine is not simple, a simple entity like this is I and this is mine. Oh no. We find, and people are asked to find out who am I, and then they go in. I mean, those who are not prepared, they go in trying to find the I, and they cannot find the I. You cannot locate it anywhere in the body. And forget locating the body, you cannot locate it anywhere in the mind. It's very subtle. And with this I and mine is attached so many things. I am so and so. This is mine, etc., etc. And not only these, you will find that this network spreads out and can cover the whole world. All the thoughts are linked to this I. Everything. I see, I hear, I talk, I think, I heard, I will see. Everything in the past, present, future, thoughts are all linked to this I. That's why they say the whole world is linked to this I. Everything is I and mine. So it's not a small thing here. Somewhere in here, maybe here, it seems to be everywhere. and then you try to catch it, it becomes almost impossible. So you have to, as Sri Ramakrishna says, giving us another illustration of japa, of course, but in this case, they used to cure wood by soaking it in water. But then that river or the stream will, they can say, wash it away. So they used to tie a chain, and the chain is tied on the banks. So what do you do to get that wood after it's cured? You go link by link by link by link by link, and then get hold of that log of wood, a huge tree wood. Bring it. So we are asked to go link by link by link by link and get this eye. You cannot just go and get this eye. It's a phantom. You go here, it's not there. You go there, you see it there, and then you will go there. Oh, it's there. I go there. It's disappeared. So it's just impossible. So we'll have to slowly, that's the reason why we are asked to meditate. On the ordinary plane of consciousness, this plane of consciousness, it's impossible to know the I. How deep and vast this is. So this is what obscures what? The sun. And the sun, yes. Because what happens is, we are distracted. And like a magician, he or she will distract your attention with something and then do something else. So we are distracted. This I and mine is attached to this. Everything I see, I see that, this is mine, this is everything. So the whole world is attached. And the past and the present and future, all your thoughts are attached to this I and mine. This is what obscures. That's why it's called ignorance. After the destruction of ignorance. But how do you do that? Well, do it through meditation. You plunge deeper and deeper and deeper. And how does that happen? In the yoga philosophy and even in the Vedanta, they say one wave in the mind gives rise to many waves. We've seen this. One thing gives rise to another. Suppose there's a huge wave in the ocean, and that wave will give rise to smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller waves. And then kind of cascading effect. So when you think of one thing, a series of things happen. So when you're trying to meditate, you're thinking of meditating, and suddenly you think of something, say a cookie, and then gone. The moment you think of a cookie, it leads you to the quality, the taste, the shop, the this, that, everything. By the time, hey, wait, I'm supposed to meditate. You bring your mind. So from this itself, you know that thoughts are a network, all tied with the sense of I. So in the yoga philosophy and Vedanta, they will say, bring all the thoughts. Don't raise any thought. The moment you raise any thought in your mind, you'll get caught. That's why the Vedanta Sutras, the Yoga Sutras say, Chitta Vritti Nirodha. What is yoga? It's controlling the waves in the mind from breaking out into its control. So is that all? Yes, that is all. But then what happens? So you have to now raise the wave of reality, which has been pointed out in the scriptures. For instance, He says in 23, the nature of the Atman is eternity, purity, reality, consciousness and bliss. Just as luminosity is the nature of the sun, coolness of water and heat of fire. So the nature of the Atman is this. It's eternal, it is pure, it's real, it's conscious and bliss. It's a very famous Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Satya Swabhav. This is the wave that you have to raise. And then this wave does not have any other links in the old chain, you see. Because everything we see, it's so impure, it's perishable, it's non-eternal, it is just unconsciousness everywhere. So because it does not find its cognates, it is now kind of isolated. Because if it was finding cognates, then it would have run away. If the Atman was like any other object, then this object would give rise to this object and this object and this object. But the Atman is not an object now. And this is where the wave that will rise because of that scriptural knowledge of what a subject is, it comes steady, stronger and stronger and becomes dominant. And as this dominant goes, it becomes stronger, it expands and then it breaks. The old chains break. This I linked to this I and mine. Then you say, oh, you don't even say, I am the Atman. The Atman exists. This is what happens when you keep on isolating this thought from all the other networks of thoughts. But what about the other networks of thoughts? They're down there. Oh, they say, okay, in the old days, when these mighty armies used to clash, they should try to hit the general or the king. First, kill him. And when that general or the king is killed, then the soldiers, they all run away. Because they want orders, and then the person who orders them is run. Then what do? Run. So once you disable this I and mine, then everything else goes away. This is why it is meditation, constant meditation, that is required. Vedanta says, Ashupte amrita kalam, till you fall asleep and till you die, meditate. It means to say, have it continuous. But I have to work, etc. Yes, you can keep this thought in your mind when you're working. And then when your work is over, like Sri Ramakrishna says, with one hand hold on to the post and another hand work. That is, hold on to God. So if you leave both your hands and you're whirling around, you'll fall. So hold on to God and with one hand work. And when the work is over, hold God with both your hands. This is what is called. So Sri Ramakrishna's sayings are simple, but they are very profound. So for those who know the Sanskrit, Arune naiva bodena purvam santamase rite tata avir bhaved atma swayam evang shumaniva. So Aruna is the sun, of course. Aruna is sun. When it bodena, that is when it is rising, or when you see it, when it's understood. Purvam, what? Santamase, before it can rise, the tamasa, the darkness is destroyed. Tata, thence, avir bhaved atma, then the Atman will shine by itself, will be, as he has said here, appears. Just why it appears? When the cloud moves, what happens? Does the sun come from another galaxy or another solar system? No, no. It's always been here. And it moves. But you have to pull that cloud away. How do you do that? Yes. Again I said, Shri Ramakrishna says, yes, this is the ignorance, I and mine. But if you say, I am a child of God, I am a part of God, or for now I am the Atman. So all this constitutes what is called Vidya Maya. The Maya, it's Maya, but it is knowledge Maya. Why knowledge Maya? Yeah, because it takes you away from non-knowledge Maya. The non-knowledge Maya binds you. And this knowledge Maya is a spiritual discipline which takes you back to it. Somewhere deep down we have that intuition, and why is it necessary for this meditation? Well, by constant meditation, this has been, unfortunately, for all the modern Vedantins who think you'll get it at the drop of a hat, this has been the practice for thousands and thousands of years. And this has been the experience also for those people. So simply reading and then say, I have understood it. Well, very good. It's like you're reading a book on medicine and then you're saying, now I am a doctor. See what will happen. You'll have a hard time convincing others that you're a doctor. I have read it. I have seen the movie. So I'm also like that. No. So this is just surface knowledge. That surface knowledge has to be deepened and deepened. Why it has to be deepened? As I said, it has to go and try to isolate this thought of the Atman from this I and mine, to which is linked this whole world. Okay. So in the notes, Swami Nikhilananda says, the Atman appears, the knowledge produced by the practice of spiritual discipline destroys ignorance. Spiritual discipline, sadhana. So the knowledge produced, even the spiritual discipline produces knowledge. Yes. And that is what keeps everything away. You see, otherwise people will think, oh, you have to, it's a grind, complete, total grind, over and over and over. It's a dry thing. It's not dry. Spiritual practice would be dry, then there's something wrong. You must have first love while doing spiritual discipline. Love for what? For what you're meditating upon. And when you have love for the thing that you're meditating upon, then you can easily concentrate. And the word, the dhyana, meditation, not the usual word of meditation. Dhyana is technically called in yoga dhyana. Dhyana and jnana go together. So every time you meditate, you get knowledge. You should get knowledge and you must get knowledge. Otherwise, I'm sitting with my closed eyes and meditating and nothing. Like I was there. You won't find it in 1 day or 2 days, but after some time you will see, hey, yeah, there is a growth of knowledge. So you will have an insight into yourself, in the mind, what exactly is driving you, what is stopping you, what are the obstructions. So this knowledge grows. So spiritual discipline, people avoid. Why? Because, I've been doing spiritual discipline and nothing's happened. No. You must get knowledge. So dhyana, jnana. So this is what it is. So, and what Nikhilananda says is correct. the knowledge produced by the practice of spiritual disciplines destroys ignorance. So there is something called the primary knowledge, the knowledge that has been derived from the scriptures. Yes, this is what it is. This is the goal. This is what it is. And then the secondary knowledge, that is spiritual disciplines, comes. And then slowly it keeps on growing and growing till that meditative knowledge becomes primary. It has to sync with that. So if you're told to meditate on, say, on Sri Ram Krishna, okay, and then you're meditating, it's all right. And then you're meditating on, again, on a cookie. Now what? Who's going to do anything about it? Sorry. So you're supposed to meditate on Sri Ram Krishna. So what is spiritual discipline? It's concentrating the mind. Oh yeah, but to concentrate the mind, you have to be searching for concentration. First, you better concentrate your body, then your prana, then your senses, and then you can concentrate the mind. Otherwise, no. So you imagine if you're sitting down and you're restless and say, what are you doing? I'm concentrating. Is that possible? So I recommend, the first thing I will say, can you sit down straight for 5 minutes at least without moving at all? Saying, yes, I can do that. Then do that. Don't talk about concentrating the mind. First do this. And then 5 minutes, and then make it 10 minutes, make it 50. And slowly. So the whole thing is now concentrated. People want to go concentration of the mind. You're not doing the basic things. So when an archer is trying to hit the target, we see it in these games. The bow and arrow is held still, of course, but his body is still. Otherwise, you think if he's moving around, looking around, like when Dronacharya asked Arjuna, what do you see? I see only the eye of that bird. Shoot it. And he shoots it. The same question he had asked others. What do you see? I see the tree. I see the branches. I see the sky. I see this. I see that. I see the bird. No, he had asked only to hit the eye of that bird. So Arjuna said, I can see only the eye of the bird. And the teacher was pleased and said, he hit. So if the archer is looking around all over the place, is moving around and saying, oh, I have to, somebody's calling me, I think, and that will not. So concentration is, it's called ekagrata, one-pointedness of everything. So saying yes. So this produces knowledge and it destroys ignorance. Then he's saying the next stage, the step after this is, this destruction is at once followed by the revelation of the Atman. Yeah. As you keep on meditating, the revelation happens. No other discipline is required for this purpose. No other thing. Oh, I've meditated for 5 years. Now I have enough of this. Let's take up this. What some other method? No. This itself is enough. Don't go for 20 methods. Like Sri Ramakrishna says, if you keep on digging for water in 20 places, you might not hit it. So dig in one place and dig deeper and deeper, and then he says, Atman always exists, but during the state of ignorance remains covered by Maya. This is what it is. Then he is quoting the Bhagavad Gita. But for those in whom this ignorance is destroyed by the knowledge of the Atman, that knowledge, like the sun, reveals the Supreme. What is this? Yeah. The Bhagavad Gita is Jnanena tu tad ajnanam yesham nashitam atmana tesham adityavat jnanam prakashayati tat param. The sun. See, but for those in whom this ignorance is destroyed, who? For those who are meditating, of course. By the ignorance is destroyed, why? By the knowledge of the self. Because as I said, like the sun, the Atman is self-luminous. Not that the Atman is the sun. So please, the illustration is not to be taken like that. That knowledge, like the sun, reveals the Supreme. So what is knowledge? Consciousness. It's called Sat and Chit. Chit is consciousness. That knowledge reveals the Supreme. Okay. We take the next one. I think this is a little more elaborate because we picked up from something that maybe you must have forgotten. So pick up the thread again. So that's why it needed a little elaboration. The 44th verse is, though Atman is an ever-present reality, yet because of ignorance, it is unrealized. So why does he keep on repeating it? So that it gets fixed in our minds. Over and over, the scriptures keep on repeating certain teachings, essential teachings. Because in the Brahma Sutra it's called Avriti Asakrit Upadeshat. That is, instructions have to be repeated. So that, on the destruction of ignorance, Atman is realized. Then he gives another illustration. It's like the case of an ornament on one's neck. I think you've seen ornament on a neck, or you're searching for your spectacles and suddenly you realize, oh, I'm still wearing it. You're looking for a kind of chain that where am I looking? And not only that, you will ask 2 or 3, hey, I've lost my chain. And then they're all searching. And then finally, oh. And somebody comes and tells you, you're wearing that. Or maybe that somebody comes and telling you, you're wearing that chain. That's a guru. You're wearing that. The guru says, thou art that. And there are some, oh, I thought I was so and so, having so and so, and this and that. Now this is completely different. But the guru must be right, because the scriptures also is saying this same thing. So it is just a change of perception. Like I said, that we are distracted, and then once a distraction is over, you turn and, here it is. It was there all the time. So then why is it not happening? Why it is not happening? Because Ramchandra Datta, he was Ramakrishna's disciple, a household disciple. And he was a staunch Vaishnava, the believers of Vishnu. And these, generally they are dualist. For them, this world is real. Why? Because God created. How can He create something which is unreal? So God will be unreal, something like that, in a nutshell. So he is arguing. Why should the world be unreal? It is real. Sri Ramakrishna smiled and says, Ram, you better acknowledge, tell it that you still want to enjoy this hog plum of the world. You still have desires. Hog plum, in a sense, Sri Ramakrishna is saying that it's a plum. It's like a, what do you call in India? We call it more like a bora. It's just skin and inside a pit. The pit is almost the whole thing was a pit only and just skin covering it. So when you wash it and eat it, you'll get a taste of the skin, the fibers inside under between the pit and the skin. And it's like a little tasty, Sometimes it's sweet and sometimes it's astringent. And when children, we used to take and eat and then spit the pit out. And purposely we used to spit it on somebody whom we do not like. But if you eat too much, you'll get stomachache. So that's why you still have the desire to eat a hog plum of this world. So the world has been like a hog plum. We want it, tastes nice, but then later on we regret it. Oh, that is the only reason why it is not realized. And that is why we are distracted. So it is these desire for when you look around, so many things. You walk around, you go to the shopping mall, the supermarket, you go to Costco and you'll see people. They are looking, drinking in. If they had money, they would buy this. No, I don't want this. This is better. Constantly wanting. Then the child says, I want this. The mother says, no. You have plenty of things then. Oh, then you see what happens. Sometimes nowadays children get angry. Older children, all right. They're a little obedient. The moment we see something, we feel the mind wants to take it. Why does that happen? Because the mind takes the form of that object, you see. And it's saying, oh, this is nice. This in Vedanta is called Shobhana Adhyasa. Adhyasa, superimposing that this is nice. We get caught. So, but everything is not nice in this world. Yeah. It's called Ashobhana, that is the dislike. So, we are buffeted between, Vedanta says, between likes and dislike, attachment and aversion. That's why the Bhagavad Gita, Raga, Dvesha, Viyukta istu, giving up this attachment and aversion. Vishayan Indriyas Charan, this person walks amongst all the objects. Atmavashay Videratma Prasad. That person attains that supreme beatitude. When? Prasadamati Gacchati. So, the person is free from this. He walks amongst all the objects without free. It's free. Yes, so Atma tu satatam prapto. So Atman is ever present or it's attained. It's not something you will acquire it through meditation. Oh, I've meditated for 10,000 hours. And they say if you meditate for 10,000 hours, your brain has now become hardwired with that completely. You cannot think of anything. Yeah, so 10,000 hours and you will get it. So people have been 10,000 hours, then I will get the Atman. Why 10,000 hours? Somebody has given these experimenters, they made this. If you do anything for 10,000 hours, like you go like a kind of Olympic champ in meditation. You do any other activity also. So you're rewiring this. But suppose you do it with love and intensity, you can do it 5,000 hours. And if you have a sattvic mind, you can do it 1,000 hours. And if you have the grace of God, you can do it 500. What's the... But this 10,000 is a deterrent, my God. So if a person has done 10,000 hours and nothing has happened, then we know something. He's saying, I have done 10,000, now I should realize it. Sorry. It doesn't work like that. It is already there. Your 10,000 hours was only breaking yourself, breaking your old personality. So, satatam prapto api apraptavad avidya. So, it is because you don't feel that it is attained because of ignorance. Why? Because now ignorance, now Maya is real for you. You go around and ask people, this world is unreal. You see what happens? Here you can say, try to go. They will say, what? What are you talking about? Are you crazy? The world is very much real. We experience it. And then you start analyzing the experience and analyzing the world. Then you say, oh my God, truly, it is not substantial. Something is appearing as this world in my mind. But that fellow who has got some great desires, he will start fighting. Like, I'll tell you that story. It is a long story, but he'll come and bite you. Now, is it real or no? I'll bite you. Let's see. But as you keep on meditating and analyzing it, then on the destruction of ignorance, Atman is realized. Tannashe praptavad bhati. So it shines. Swakanta abhiranam yata. So like the abharanam, when the necklace and you're wearing it and then suddenly fine. So the notes are vast. To the knower of Atman, it is perceived at all times. So once you perceive it, you know where it is. Yeah. So that knowledge does not go. So that person knows the Atman as consciousness and existence to be the basis of perception. We'll discuss this on Sunday. I've been thinking about what to speak on the Durga Puja. Even in the case of an ignorant person, Atman is self-luminous, free and pure, though it is not realized by him as such. Okay, we'll stop here. Before we can close, we'll see there's a question here. How can we ensure the mind dwells in mantra even during sleep? Sometimes it happens by accident, but not under control. Does this come naturally over time? Sleep kind of feels like deep ignorance. Yeah. How do you suppose just before you sleep, you have some thought. You see what happens. That thought keeps on disturbing you. You cannot sleep. And somehow when the body is just too tired, you will fall asleep. And then maybe in the middle of the night, you also wake up with that thought. Oh. And again, you fall asleep. And when you wake up, that thought again comes. So that means the thought has been present subconsciously. So as in the waking state, you keep on doing your mantra japa, it cuts deeper and deeper and deeper into the mind. It becomes part of the subconscious flow. Because even in deep sleep, there are vrittis. Because if there was no vritti at all, that is the waves in the mind would die. That's why That's why in the state of samadhi, when there are no vrittis at all, in the highest state, there are no vrittis, the mind dies. There is no mind. But when there is a vritti, the mind is alive. So the mantra is there subconsciously. Over and over again, it fills the subconscious mind. And then you do it in the waking, dream, and deep sleep. It's all there continuously. Even in dream, you'll dream of the mantra. In sleep, you will not be repeating it consciously, but you will be repeating it. It's self-repeating. In the state of dream, after the mantra has been established, you will find that you are lucidly dreaming. It's like you're seeing the dream and you're repeating the mantra. So you know there's a separation. This happens with serious spiritual aspirants where you can. So Sri Ramakrishna says, if you eat radish, you will belch radish. Okay. So you're ingesting the mantra, you will belch that mantra only out. So whether it's waking, dream, this, keep on practicing. Okay, we can stop here. To make a few. Okay. There is no other question coming up here on my iPad.
He asked, after knowing everything, mind is not willing to meditate regularly. Why is it so much reluctant to do it even after knowing what is right?
Well, the mind, after knowing everything, is reluctant to meditate. Why does it happen so? Am I stating?
It's not willing to meditate.
Oh, willing to meditate. Oh, yeah. The mind is not willing because it is bahirmukhi, as they say. Bahirmukhi is externalized. It has to be internalized. Not willing. That word willing, the mind, not willing to meditate is important. This will. Meditation is nothing but willpower. Nothing but willpower. You have to strengthen the will. And how do you strengthen the will? By strengthening, Swamiji has given a few pointers in the Raj Yoga. So he goes about in a kind of a roundabout way, but it is stand. So he gives, so when you sit still and you're breathing, this breathing, breath, affects the heart, circulation. And this heart, this circulation, then affects the brain, thought. So how do you put this whole body into sync? How do you harmonize all these things? By regularized breathing. So breathing, you do like simple pranayama, etc., etc. So when the body is in a kind of a rhythm, he says the mind changes into what is called a will. Will? So remember, the respiration works on circulation, circulation on the nervous activity. So all the nerves in your body, they run in a kind of a harmonious way. They flow up and down with each breath. Now your breath is going up out here and there. The energy is wasted. So what happens is you become a battery of will, Swamiji says. That's the whole thing. Your body, your mind, and all are now brought into sync just through this. You're controlling your brain, and the brain acts on the mind, then he says. So you're controlling it by breathing. And slowly all the molecules in your body, and Swamiji also uses, the nerves have been shown to have polarity, that's electricity. And every cell in your body has a positive and negative pole. Your whole body is electricity. So bring it, everything in a harmonious movement. Breath is used as an instrument. And as breath is now used to bring everything in line, aligned, everything is aligned, your whole body becomes a battery. And this is a battery of will. That is one way. That is, I think. Otherwise, you have to have tremendous willpower. Like, what is this willpower? Oh, this willpower is there with everybody. It has to be developed slowly. Like, say, suppose I say, I don't like to do all this vacuuming business. Then I'll say, then let my mind vacuum it. You're resisting something, you're fighting against a resistance. Your will become stronger. So you exercise that will in the day-to-day things. So I can run for 100 meters, and then I panting. All right, tomorrow I'm going to run 110 meters, and then 200 meters, 400. Go slowly. You are building a strength. So you got to practice. How to, the mind is not willing, practice. As you keep on practicing, then it becomes easy. Each person is judged on what? Swamiji goes further and says, by the amount of willpower. The will makes a difference between human beings. So you have a strong will, that is what. Okay. A few announcements. Tomorrow we have Karma Yoga at the retreat. We also have a special Karma Yoga year. This is in prep for the puja, Durga Puja, which we are going to have it at 11 a.m. And so Sunday, 11 a.m. It's potluck. You can bring your whatever. If you're lucky, you can get your own pot. Bring it full. And so Durga Puja will be celebrated on Sunday, 11 a.m. year. So those who like to purify their minds, come for the Karma Yoga also. Then you can enjoy the puja. So that's the idea. And also, like you said, we had asked people to sign up for chanting the mantra Om Shri Durga. There have been over 20 or 29 people have been signed up, and they are chanting every day. So even if you are not signed up, chant this mantra Om Shri Durga and make it a kind of a wow, that today I'm going to chant 108 and do it for the next till Vijaya Dashami, till Dashara. That will be good. You will get that spirit of the goddess there. Also, next Friday, there won't be this Friday class. I'm traveling, so, and then it will become regularized. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanam